Hey friends, Lucian here with the Bullish Bears team. Wanted to make this video on how to read the stock market. Are fundamentalists or technical analysts or chartists correct, right? There's that battle going back and forth of, well, what do I do, right? Do I want to research a company's financials or do I want to chart a stock? Which way is the proper way to do it? And my answer to that question is yes, right? So when I say yes, is both fundamental and technical research is very important. Now it also kind of boils down to what type of trader that you are. Within the Bullish Bears team, we are more technical traders, right? So fundamentalists will research a company's financials, which again, in a couple moments, I'll share with you guys some resources on how to research a stock. So it is very important to research a company's financials, especially if you're going to go longer term on a stock. But a company's technicals, right, the charts, are basically kind of like, I like to put it like the footprint or the trail that's left behind from the fundamentalist, right? So if you know how to read charts and you know technical analysis, you're going to be basically following the footprint of the fundamentalist. So it all depends of what type of trader that you are, right? So if you're a day trader, you really don't care too much about a company's financials. You want to know the charts. You're looking to go in, you're looking to scalp in and out of a stock. Same thing, a little bit more with a swing trader. If you're holding a little bit more, like a few days or a few weeks, company financials are very important, obviously, to look at, but you're again looking more at the charts. Again, if you want to go longer term, you're probably going to look more at a company's financials, but we try to teach bringing it all together. And again, the technicals, we can't stress enough that nothing is foolproof, right? In the stock market, the technicals are never going to be 100% foolproof. A stock, or, when you're looking at the patterns or the charts, many times the stock will go against you. So you might see the perfect setup and then it'll, change and it'll go the other direction. And the reason why that happens is anything can happen in the stock market. Even the most perfect or setup that there are on charts, a trader can come along and mess that all up. So again, if you want to be safe, do both, right? You could do fundamental and technical research, but again, we are more technical traders. We're not going really long term on trades, so we're looking a lot more at the technical. So again, I'm going to show you resources for both. So again, I'm not sure what type of trader that you are, but if you are more of a longer term trader, you're going to look more at the fundamentals as well as the technicals, right? So that's the other thing. It's a really important key, right? So if you're a fundamental trader or you're like, hey, I want to invest in Apple or Facebook or Google long term, you'll hear many a times, people will, they might be listening to CNBC or Kramer or one of them and hearing them talk about a major company, right? Or a sector, pot stocks or Bitcoin, and you'll hear them, hey, this sector is hot right now. And what a lot of new traders do is they're like, oh, cool, this sector's hot right now. Let me go and buy it, right? Because let's say the fundamentals look good. But the problem is most traders fail because they also don't know the technicals, right? When you want to profit on a stock, you want to buy low and sell high, right? Well, what happens is many new traders will hear news on a news station about a stock or a company financials, and they'll just go and buy it. But they have no clue about support and resistance. And support and resistance teaches you where to buy low and sell high, the peaks and the valleys and the patterns. And that's why it's so important to understand the concept of both fundamental and technical analysis together. So again, this video is going to be more of a basic tutorial. We have lots of resources on our website. You can head over to bullishbears.com or click the video below, but we really go into depth on teaching, especially in our courses, day trading, swing trading, options trading, candlesticks, all of that good stuff. But this video is going to be more of a highlighted overview to really get in and kind of drill down the concept of understanding both fundamental analysis, which is company research and the company financials, as well as the technicals. And we are huge proponents, really, even if we didn't do the company financials, you can get a lot from the company, the technicals, right? The charts and the graphs and all of that. And that takes, again, we don't want to sugarcoat it. It doesn't happen overnight. It takes a while to really have this stuff sink in. You might have to look at hundreds, if not thousands of charts for it to really start to make sense. But that's trading. Once you understand, candlesticks and patterns and horizontal and vertical support and resistance levels, then it's really about, that's a skill set you have for the rest of your life, right? So when you know how to read charts, you can look at, where a company, where it might be a good entry or a good exit when taking a trade. Whereas if you're just fundamentally looking at the fundamentals and you don't know the charts, how do you know when to get into a stock? How do you know when to get out of a stock, right? So again, very important to bring it all together. So let me show you a couple resources over here of, places that you can do some good fundamental research. Now, a really good tool to use is Fidelity's Fidelity's research tool up here. They have a really good in-depth one. You can create an account with them. It shows for me to log in here, but I should be able to look here without having to log in. If you go right over to Fidelity and you go to News and Research, and then you click and hover over Stocks right here, give that a moment to load. We'll type in, let's say Apple, AAPL. Over here, so you put in the symbol up over here, and then once it loads down over here, you can see kind of a basic chart of Apple, pricing all over here. And then if you come down here, this is where you can really get into the in-depths of what's going on with whatever stock you're looking at. You can come down here and look at the news and the events. You can look at all of the analyst opinions down over here. And then you can come down over here and see market cap, earnings per share, dividends, revenue growth, shares outstanding. So this is a really, really great tool to be able to use if you want to get some in-depth knowledge on fundamental analysis. So you basically come over again to Fidelity, News and Research, Stocks, and then do your thing, right? Type in over here and look at all over here too. You have the detailed quotes, news and events. You can look all down over here, right? Dividends, earnings. So it's a really good, handy research tool to be able to use if you want to do fundamental analysis. Next up, another decent one, kind of basic, but it's decent, is Yahoo or finance.yahoo.com. You come over here and you can just type in Apple over here. And then, come down here again. It's in a different space. You can see market cap, earnings per share, and then you can go across here, click on financials, and come across over here. It's, not as in-depth as Fidelity, but it's still a decent tool as well. Again, there's so many different research tools out there that you can use. We really like Fidelity. And the other one that's really good too is Investors Business Daily. So if you come up over here and just type in the symbol Apple, let's say AAPL, click enter. Then you come down over here and you'll see, price of the stock, got a basic chart over here. And then you scroll down and you have all the company fundamental information down here, and you can do your research, Again, really good tool. So here's just want to show you a few tools. Again, there's so many out there, but Investor Business Daily, Fidelity's, they're both really good. And, Yahoo's or finance.yahoo.com is pretty decent. So again, if you want to do company research or financials, this is more of a fundamentalist type of view. So this is where you're looking up a stock, seeing if, their earnings per share, all the fundamentals, and seeing, is this something I want to invest in? Again, if you're more of a longer term investor, you're probably going to do more fundamental analysis. If you're a short term trader, you might not care as much about the fundamentals. You're going to look more at the charts. But again, it's very important to understand both concepts, both fundamental and technical analysis. Again, we lean more towards technical analysis within the Bullish Bears community because it's the charts and the graphs and the patterns. And again, it's the footprint that's left behind by the fundamentalists. But again, we're always going to be proponents of teaching both, because both technical analysis and fundamental analysis is important. So those that are doing their fundamental analysis, right, they're getting into a stock, right, they're buying or selling a stock. Whenever they do that, right, that's the battle of the bulls and the bears, they leave a footprint or they leave a trail. And those footprints or those trails form candlesticks, which you see on this chart here. And candlesticks form patterns. They go up and they go down, right? Green or bullish candlesticks, red or bearish candlesticks. And they kind of form these peaks and valleys and patterns. And this is where the technicals start to come in. Again, this is where you will learn things we will teach you in our community and in our courses and our trade rooms, all that good stuff, how to learn, support and resistance. So to give you an example here, resistance is where a stock goes up and it can't go above any higher, right? So it's hitting a ceiling or it's hitting resistance. Support are areas like where it's formed a base where, the buyers are coming back in and they're not letting it fall, right, any further. So support is basically the base levels, resistance is the peak levels, right? So you can see right up here, the stock for Facebook, it hit a peak right around this $218, right? And then you can see some valleys over here right down in this, 150 level. Here's kind of some support levels. I'm showing you just basics, right? Because there's all support and resistance all within here as well, right? But you got to find these support levels and resistance levels, some support down in here. So it's learning to find these peaks and these valleys, because what happens is many of times a new trader will come in and they'll hear Facebook, maybe they're hearing Facebook on Kramer or CNBC. Oh, Facebook is super hot right now. It's unbelievable. And what happens is these new traders will come in right up over here and they'll buy it, right? But they won't realize the stock is really overextended. It's at a resistance level. And what happens is, boom, it just drops. And look, right? So you could have bought in Facebook when it was super hot up here at $218. And look, and it's just fallen all the way down. That's why it's important, support and resistance levels, right? So these are what they call like horizontal support and resistance levels, right? This is an idea, right? There's a bunch all within here. But then you have vertical support and resistance levels, stuff of like when you want to draw trend lines, right? So you can connect come up over here and connect these lines up in here, right? So connecting these peaks and valleys where it kind of goes right up here, and you can see, connecting these areas within here, right? So then they start to form these triangle patterns, right? So, it all depends. Again, I'm going back historically over here, but, in the future, if you just remove these drawings right over in here, then you start looking what's going on over here, right? So you can draw your trend lines and kind of connect back over in here or from here down kind of in here. Many times you'll see lots of lines all over in your charts, right? But you just start connecting these lines and you can start to see these are areas of support and resistance. So there's horizontal and then there's angular support and resistance levels, as well as these patterns, right? So each of these patterns, this is a daily chart, but you can go to a weekly chart. So if you're a longer term trader, you're probably going to look at weekly and monthly charts. If you're more of a swing trader, you might look at the daily right up here or the hourly charts. And then if you're a day trader, that's when you're zooming in on the 5 minute and the 1 minute. So this is what kind of the concept of a technical trader. This, if you're new, you might be like, what the heck am I showing you right here? This takes time to learn, right? This is where you want to come in. If you're new to our community, take our courses, join our trade rooms, interact with other people, and really learn this stuff. But it all starts to come together. Also, a new tool that we really like using is TrendSpider, which will draw a lot of these lines automatically for you. So TrendSpider is a really awesome tool. But it's important to be able to know how to do this yourself first. And this takes time. It might take you 6 months to a year to get comfortable. It takes most traders at least several months to start seeing these things. But again, this video is more of a highlighted overview between technical and fundamental analysis and how to read charts, right? So if you want to read charts, you need to be able to understand candlesticks and patterns and moving average lines and how this all comes together. And again, we will teach you all that stuff in our courses on our website at bullishbears.com. So again, if you want to be really safe, obviously, fundamental and technical analysis is extremely important, but you're looking more again for fundamental analysis for kind of like longer term on a trade. Or if you're looking to get in on a swing trade and you want to know the technicals, or sometimes again, if you're looking at the technicals, you can get a heads up on something before the buyers, let's say, come in on it, depending where you're at, whether it's wherever the support or resistance levels are, if you might catch in a tip on something on fundamental analysis and the technicals might add up really well with it. So ideally, if you do a combination of both, it might give you a really better entry and a chance to buy, let's say, at these support levels down right here or down in these areas right here when something's going on. That's why it's nice to know both technical and fundamental analysis. But again, the fundamental or technical analysis is the digital footprint or the footprint that's left behind from these fundamental traders. If you like this video, please make sure to click the like button, share it, as well as post any questions or comments that you have below. And before you leave, make sure to click the red subscribe button and the notification bell to stay in touch with our latest content. Thank you so much for being a subscriber, and we will see you in our community. Enjoy.